Time flies, and yes, World Cup qualifying is back. On today's episode, we will take a look at Amir Ghalenoei's roster and preview Iran's qualifier against Hong Kong. You know the deal, and you know what time it is. It's time for Team Melli Talk. The boys are ready for some more World Cup qualifiers. Hey everyone, welcome back to Team Melli Talk. World Cup qualifying is back, so this means you're in the mood to buy some more Team Melli merchandise. Check out our Shopify store, teammellitalk.myshopify.com. Links are also available if you click down below. Now let's check out Amir Ghalenoei's roster. Starting with the goalkeepers, Ali Reza Behranvand, Payam Niazmand, Hossein Pourhamidi. Now for the center backs, Shoja Khaliazadeh, Hossein Kanani, Amin Hazbavi, and Aref Gholami. Now for the wingbacks, Milad Mohammadi, Abulfaz Jalali, Saleh Hardani, and Arya Yousefi. Now for the midfielders, Saman Goldus, Mohammad Gorbani, Javad Hossein-Nejad, Saeed Mehri, and Omid Nurafkan. As for the wingers / attacking midfielders, Ali Reza Jahanbash, Mehdi Torabi, Mehdi Gaidi, Mehdi Limuchi, and Alayar Sayadmanesh. Last but not least, the forwards, Mehdi Taremi, Sardar Azmoun, Mohammad Reza Azadi, Shahryar Moganlu, and Javad Agaipour. Now to analyze this squad, I'll be starting off with the goalkeepers. Ali Reza Behranvand, Payam Niazmand, and Hossein Pourhamidi. Pourhamidi had 17 clean sheets this season with Traktor. But let's face it, Esteghlal fans have got to be very upset because Hossein Hosseini was snubbed from this list. After all, Hosseini also had 17 clean sheets this season with Esteghlal. Next, the center backs, I have two concerns, Shoja Khaliazadeh and Aref Gholami. Let me be clear about something. Shoja Khaliazadeh just turned 35 years old. He recently played for Iran at the Asian Cup, and those matches should have been his last for Team Melli. Aref Gholami recently signed with Velej Mostar in the Premier League of Bosnia-Herzegovina. Now I'll be honest, it was a good decision for Aref Gholami to leave Iran to go play in Bosnia. But he is only 27 years old, he's only made one appearance for Team Melli, and that was 2 years ago in a World Cup qualifier against South Korea. Now, when looking back at that match, he did not play well at all. He was very slow, he clearly did not have the pace to keep up with the dangerous South Korean attackers. Now, if I'm going to be honest and share my 2 cents about this, it would have made more sense to call up Saman Falah. He is younger, faster, and has more potential. Next, let's take a look at the wingbacks, Mohammadi, Hardani, Jalali, and Yousefi. I know a lot of Team Melli fans are probably upset that Ramin Rezaian was not called up. But to be honest, I'm okay with this decision because I have always been a big fan of Saleh Hardani, and I really like what I have seen from Arya Yousefi. And of course, I cannot ignore the fact that Ramin Rezaian is 34 years old. Team Melli needs to get younger, not older. Now for the midfielders, Goldus, Gorbani, Hossein-Nejad, Mehri, and Nurafkan. 2 of my favorite players are here, Mohammad Gorbani and Javad Hossein-Nejad. Gorbani started in Iran's previous qualifier against Turkmenistan in Ashgabat, and Hossein-Nejad, well, we know he's definitely a future star for Team Melli. I am a little surprised to see Saeed Mehri on this list, but he made about 10 appearances for Apoel Nicosia in the top flight of football in Cyprus, and I'm glad that he is being rewarded with a call-up. The only head-scratcher for me, though, is Omid Nurafkan. I really don't see Omid Nurafkan as Team Melli material because he lacks pace and physicality. Now for the wingers / attackers, Jahanbash, Torabi, Gaidi, Limuchi, and Sayadmanesh. There really is not much more for me to say here, except that I'm really glad to see that Sayadmanesh has been called up again. This time though, I'm really hoping that Mehdi Limuchi will get some playing time, but of course, that won't be easy to take away playing time from Jahanbash or Gaidi. Finally, the forwards, Taremi, Azmoun, Azadi, Moganlu, and Agaipour. I have said this before and I will say it again. Shahryar Moganlu is not Team Melli material. But Amir Ghalenoei really loves to reward the top goal scorer of the Persian Golf Pro League, so I'll just stop beating a dead horse. I like the potential of Mohammad Reza Azadi because he scored 8 goals this season for Nasaji Mazandaran, but I continue to be very impressed by Javad Aghaipur of Esteghlal Khuzestan. Seriously, Aghaipur is the real deal. He needs to play in one of these 2 qualifiers. Now what about you? What is your opinion of Amir Ghalenoei's roster? Leave a comment down below. Always look forward to getting your input. Iran and Hong Kong have crossed paths a lot lately. In terms of all-time history, Iran has a perfect record against Hong Kong. The last meeting was a 1-0 victory for Iran at the Asian Cup in Qatar earlier this year. The only goal of the match was scored by Mehdi Ghaedi. Now, it wasn't a very impressive performance, but a win is a win. Hong Kong's previous World Cup qualifier was a 3-0 loss against Uzbekistan in Tashkent. As for the players to watch, here they are: Sun Minghim, Poon Pui Hin, and Philip Chan. Sun Minghim currently plays for Guangzhou Mighty Lions in the Chinese Super League. He is able to play as a left back or as a left winger. Poon Pui Hin is currently playing for Kichi in the Hong Kong Premier League. Poon Pui Hin has scored 3 goals for Hong Kong, and he actually scored the goal that eliminated Iran from the quarterfinals of the Asian Games. Last but not least, central midfielder Philip Chan of Taipo. Philip Chan represented Hong Kong at the recent Asian Cup, and he was voted Hong Kong Footballer of the Year. As for the head coach, well, Jorn Andersen suddenly resigned on the 29th of May. This means that assistant coach Wolfgang Luiser now has the title of caretaker and will take on the duties of head coach for the next 2 qualifiers. Luiser previously was assistant coach for Kichi, and he also had a spell as assistant manager for Barnsley. This information was provided to us by Chris Lau of Offside HK. If you want the best source for Hong Kong football, check out Offside HK on X or on Instagram. Once again, a special thank you to Chris Lau. As for the keys to victory, number 1, establish control early. Number 2, close gaps between the back line and midfield. Hong Kong should not be a tough opponent for Iran. But when we look back at the match between the 2 teams at the Asian Cup, it was Hong Kong that caused Iran to give the ball away on a few occasions because of undisciplined play from the back line and some really sluggish play from Iran's defensive midfielders. The bottom line is that as long as Iran comes prepared with a proper game plan, everything will be fine. And of course, let's not forget, Iran will face Hong Kong at the Hong Kong Stadium on June 6th. Now to finish off this edition of Team Melli Talk, it's very easy to say that Amir Ghalenoei will try out a lot of new players with some different formations and tactics. But let's not forget this. Amir Ghalenoei is very predictable, and he obviously wants Iran to win this group. If Iran had already won this group, then maybe I could see Amir Ghalenoei experimenting a little bit. Next, if I were to make a guess regarding Iran's midfield against Hong Kong, I expect to see Saman Ghodus and Mohammad Ghorbani starting with Saeed Mehri. As for what I want to see, well, it's obvious that I want to see Javad Hossein starting in midfield, but if he doesn't get to do that, I really hope he gets some good minutes in the second half. And that's it, everybody, for this edition of Team Melli Talk. As always, really do appreciate the support. Make sure you get to our website, www.teammelitalk.com. Remember, this is your best source for the latest news on Team Melli, the national team of Iran. Make sure you find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You know the handle, @Team Melli Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit that notification button. See you on the next edition of Team Melli Talk.